Mr. Hazel, just to be clear, as I point out the same to Mrs. Holmes, Mr. Taylor, and Mr. Cummings, and yourself, within this JC St. Andrew group, what I do is I have interviews, which is pretty much like a conversation we're having now. And what I do is I ask questions related to you and JC, and then I take the highlights of the conversation and put it in a format with the relevant information in there, and that will be the tribute to you, or so to speak. It will be played, the group will hear it, and we may play an excerpt at the reunion. But yeah, so I just would like for you to feel comfortable. Just is a regular. I don't have any pre-planned questions. I know I catch you on the spot, and this is what I do with everybody. And you just tell me what you can remember. So based upon speaking with my dad, and it was recently that I found this out, since this year. He told me that you guys were batchmates at Michael Teachers College.
Michael, that's true, yes.
So maybe you can tell me, if you could start with, how did you come to be at JC, at Jamaica College? What was the course you took?
Well, let's see now. I worked for some time in a little school in St. Anne by the name of Philadelphia. And then I was head of that school. Then I left Philadelphia and went to UWI. And after graduation, I got the job at Jamaica College.
Okay.
That's how I came to be at JC.
Wow. And you went to JC as a teacher or straight as vice principal? Because I know you as vice principal.
No, man, I went here as a teacher. And I actually went, and that time Mr. Taylor wasn't head yet. It was Mr. Middleton. He was the head of the school at the time.
Well, give me a year. Can you recall the year? That's in the 60s.
Yes, it would be in the 60s, but I can't remember the...
Okay. So, Mr. Taylor was there as a chemistry teacher. What did you teach?
I taught history and English.
Okay. Well, that is new information for me.
You didn't know?
No, I didn't know. All right.
The subject that I have my degree in.
Okay, great. And so that's what you went to UA and did you major in that at UA?
It's a general degree.
It's a general degree.
Doing English and history.
Okay. All right, so it's probably maybe middle or late 60s you probably went to JC, correct?
Probably late 60s.
Late 60s. Okay, and then what year did you leave?
I left JC. I retired from JC in what is it now? 1992. Yes, 1992.
Okay, so you left Mr. Taylor at JC?
Yes, I left him there.
Okay.
He retired. I retired from JC, and Mr. Taylor retired just a little after me.
Yes.
But I left him there.
Right. He probably left about a year or so after you.
Okay, you're right.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, how did you make that progression from being a history teacher to a history and English, right? To being a vice principal, which was around 1970.
That's another problem. I think I succeeded Mr. Carnegie. Then Mr. Carnegie left. But my problem is to remember those dates, you know. But I know I succeeded Jimmy.
Okay. No problem.
When he left, they look around for a vice principal and found me.
Okay, great. So so tell me, because you know, are you aware of having any monikers at JC? Any nicknames by the students?
Yes, man. They called me the beer.
Ah, that's what I was getting to.
The beer. That's the only name I know they call me, but I can't tell you why they call me that. I tried to find out from the boys, and nobody can tell me for sure.
Well, I'm sure it is not because you are cuddly. I'm sure it's not that.
I hope not.
You know, there's another side to the beer. So, you know, maybe it has to do with the disciplinarian side. So let's go. Let's go in that side now. I mean, back in the day, you know, times have changed. Where I don't even know if they have caning anymore. Back in the day, you had to take some boys to task based upon their behavior, and I guess that was the ultimate at the time. So, tell me what experiences you have had with that. Was discipline at JC a challenging thing, dealing with a school full of testosterone, young boys trying to find themselves, and you have to put them back on the straight and narrow? You know, give me a little window into what happened in your office and what led you to have to lead to such actions.
You know, one of the things that I made sure to do is to be very, very fair in my dealings with the boys, you know? Mm-hmm. I made sure that anything that, any kind of disciplinary measure that I had to take to deal with them, they agree with me that they deserve whatever they, you know? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And most of the time, they didn't get so much caning, you know. It's not a lot of caning, but I did a lot of talking to. And because of the high regard and respect that they have for me, and especially because they realize that I'm so fair, I find that talking to them was in many ways much more effective than a caning. A lot of boys here would come out and say, well, you know, Mr. Hazel, give me a caning. Most of them telling lies on Mr. Hazel. Most of them telling a lie because they felt that the in thing was to get a caning from Mr. Hazel. But it wasn't so much caning. I did a lot of talking. In my office, I would have a boy sit down for a couple of minutes and talk to him, you know, and if I take any disciplinary measure against him, during that talk, he has to agree with me that whatever I'm going to dish out to him is fair. He deserves it, you know. I make sure that every time, if I have to cane a boy, he must feel that he deserves the caning.
Yes.
But my presence, I discovered that I had a presence that boys power. They were afraid, you know.
Yes.
I remember sometimes the boys used to congregate in the auditorium, and any time I reach up to that cotton tree before the auditorium, it's like a whirlwind in the auditorium where the boys scatter and gone to. You know, they used to hide away from classes in the auditorium. And let me tell you, man, any time, by the time I reach to that cotton tree, it's like a whirlwind in the auditorium. And when by the time I reach up to the auditorium, the place is as clean as a whistle, not a man.
Oh boy.
Those things used to make me laugh, you know?